In this video, I will show you 3 ways to share a Google form. The first way is when you want people to respond to your form so that you can get their answers or their data and use it in some way, such as when you share a Google form with your students or colleagues. The first thing you want to do is click on the Settings tab and use the drop-down menu next to Responses and check that you have it set the way you want it to work. Here are your choices. Do you want to collect their email addresses or not? Do you want to allow them to get a copy of their responses? You can choose to turn that off, or if they request it, or to have them always get a copy of their responses. You can choose to allow them to edit their response after submitting. You could choose to limit it to your organization so that only people that are in your organization will be able to use it as long as they're signed in. And finally, you can limit it to 1 response or turn that off, and that way they could answer it more than 1 time. Once you've set your settings, I highly suggest you click Preview, test it out, and make sure the settings are going to work the way you want it to. Now we're ready to send it. So we're going to click Send, and we have 3 options here. The first way is to just send an email. You might use this if you have 1 or 2 people you want to fill it out. You type in their email here, give them some information, choose if you want to include the form directly in the email, and click Send. The second way is the way we usually share it, is to get the share link. So you can copy the link as it is, or you can hit shorten URL and click copy and then share that link via an email or the chat feature of Teams or Google Meet or even Google Classroom or whatever LMS your district might use. The third way is to use the embed code, which will work if you have a platform that allows for embedding, such as a Google site or even like an LMS. So you copy this embed code and you paste it into that platform, and now the form will open up directly in that place for the respondents to fill out. That's the first way that we can share a Google form. The second way to share a form is if you want to have people collaborate on the form with you, meaning they will be editors of the form and they can actually help you build the questions, make changes to the questions, and you're truly working together to build this Google form. So the way you want to do that is go to the 3 dots that are next to the Send button and click Add Collaborators. Here we have a couple of choices. If you're only going to share it with 1 or 2 people, I would suggest just typing in their email address, populating it here, choosing if you want to notify them with an email or not, giving them a message about it with some information, and clicking Send. However, if you want to share it with more than 1 or 2 people, you can choose instead to just change the link. So when you hit Change down here under Get Link, it's always defaulted to restricted when you create it because you're the owner and it's restricted to you, and anybody that you shared it directly with appear at the top part. Right now, those are the only people who can edit it. But let's say you want to allow anybody, for example, within your organization to be an editor. So I could change it to my organization name, and then I can copy this link and share it with anybody that might be signed into our organization, and they now have editing rights on this form. They can be collaborating with me. The third way is if you want anybody outside your organization to be an editor. So this might be, maybe you are in a workshop with people and we're all going to work together and build this form, and we're all from different places. So you might need to choose that anyone with the link and then share that link with them so that now you're all collaborating and it doesn't depend on what organization you're in. So when you do change these settings, you need to get this link. Now anybody who has that link is a collaborator and can edit and make changes to your form. Now, the third way is if you would like to share a copy of the form so that others have their own copy that they can edit and customize, and they do not have editing rights to your original. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. The first way is to come up here to your editing URL, and you're going to use your arrows to go all the way to the end to where you see the word edit. We're going to take off the word edit and we're going to replace it with the word copy. Now you're going to copy that new URL and you're going to share that with people who you would like to give a copy to. Let me go ahead and show you what that will look like on their end. So this is what those people will get that you want to share a copy with. So they'll click Make a Copy, and now they have their own original copy in their drive that they can make any changes to, and your original is still safe. That's one way. Another way, which has become my favorite, is to come back to your form and go back to the editing URL, but this time at the end where you replace the word edit with the word copy, we're going to take off that word copy or edit, whatever's there, and we're going to replace it with the words template/preview. And I'm going to copy that link and share it with people who I want to allow to have their own copy. What I like about this one is now they get a chance to preview it. They get to see what this form is all about and decide, do they want to have a copy of it or would they rather not? So if they don't like it, they can just click the X and be on their merry way. But if they do like it and they're like, yes, I want to use this, I just want to have my own copy, make a few changes, they click use template, and now they have their own copy in their own Google Drive so that they can make any edits or changes and your original is still safe. So keep in mind, if you do use the forced copy or the template copy, you do need to make sure that you've went into those collaboration settings and you make sure this does not say restricted and it's set to either anyone can edit or anyone within your organization can edit. If you don't have that set up correctly, when they click that use template or forced copy, it will give them that request access screen. That is the third way to share a Google form with people who you want to give a copy to. Pro tip, if you do not have the Sir Links-A-Lot extension from the Chrome Web Store, you need to get it today. Remember how I showed you in the video that you could get a forced copy link? It creates it for you. A preview link or a template preview link, it creates it for you. You can even get a PDF link. And not only does this work with any Google form, it works with all of our Google Workspace for Education apps like Docs and Sheets and Slides. When you select the link you want, you copy the link to the clipboard, and now you're ready to share it with those who need it. You need to head to the Chrome Web Store and get your Sir Links-A-Lot extension today.